Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Prescott's Candles. We're back at it. What we gonna do today? A little something special, man. I wanted to put something together to help anybody out there thinking of doing the candles. Some type of instructional to help you through this, to kind of skip over any type of mistakes, problems, issues. So I'm gonna quick show you my process. Nobody really does it like this. I'm not gonna gatekeep. I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need, temperatures, right times, bad times, all that. Cool? Come on, man, let's jump in. A couple things you're gonna need. You wanna make sure you got your supplies right? And I'm gonna show you everything to kind of make things a smooth process, right? This is quick, kind of like what I like to do here, and I'll explain how to use this. But I got me a 2-eye burner. Cool, nice and easy. That way I can run 2 if I need to, but 1 is cool. But the 2-eye burner, that's cool, that's sufficient. You want it big enough to where you can drop something like this in there. This is gonna be from a wax, right? I'm not gonna throw the wax inside of there. I'm actually gonna boil my water in here, and my wax is gonna sit inside of there, right? But I'm gonna do everything so you can see what you need, right? Let's keep going through what you need. Speaking of which, right? Of course, your glass. I use amber glass. Amber glass is better for the sunlight, right? When you're using essential oils or any type of high quality anything, the light's not gonna damage your products inside of there, right? It's gonna keep whatever you have in there as fresh as it can be without you having to put something that's not for you inside of this. Copy that? Cool. All right. The wicks, you wanna grab you a couple of them. All right, boom. These, I like to use hemp. I don't like cotton. I don't like none of those plastic ones. When you burn those, they don't really, they don't burn properly. They got like that black soot that come off of there, and it's not good to breathe in, you know what I mean? So I do hemp, I keep it clean. You wanna keep it clean too. Wow, cool. All right. These are your wick holders, all right? And what that is, you wanna take that, once you pour everything down, that's gonna go over your wick like that. Boom. It keep your wick like centered. You wanna make sure that you got these before you get to melting any type of wax, because otherwise you got like crooked candles and all that. Waste, not gonna burn right, not what you need. Get these, they cheap, they gonna hold it down for you, all right? Cool, sliding through. You also wanna get you some type of thermometer, man. I'm old school, cuz, so I like the old school joint. This is like a little meat thermometer you can stick the meat with, but it's gonna show you temperatures, all right? It's gonna get in there, and while it's in there doing this thing, boom, I can put it in, get a good read, pull them out, clean them up. I like to use that, it's easy for me, right? But you can get you one of the little, the heat wave joints, you point it at it, it'll tell you the heat temperature without having to put it in there. That's cool too, but I like a little more accuracy with this actually touching what I'm doing, you know what I mean? Cool. Mixer. Yeah. So I use a wooden spoon. I don't like to use plastic. Of course, when you heat that plastic up, it's gonna have particles that break off in there. I treat my products that I make like anything that I would put inside my body. You know what I mean? I don't like anything being released inside of my wax. So I use a wooden spoon whenever I'm mixing my whatevers. Easy to clean, easy to not transfer, good to go, cheap, efficient. This is what you need right here, right? Cool. And of course, your holder, aluminum is what you want to go for, right? That's an aluminum container. I know it looks crazy, but this container, to be real with you, is about a smooth 7 years old. Still doing this thing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but aluminum is what you want. Easy to clean, it's not gonna transfer anything, and it melts what you need perfectly. Like, I haven't had any issues with this the entire time I've been using them, you know what I mean? But aluminum holder, bam. And trusty Rusty, been through too many things, not just this. But you wanna get you a scale, yes indeed, right? Accuracy is key. When you're measuring up whatever you're using, whether it's your wax, whether it's your oils, whatever the case, You want to make sure you're consistent in what you're doing. You know what I mean? Your measurements, your drop-offs, whatever the case. So get you a nice scale, invest in something nice, you should be good, all right? So that's pretty much everything you need right there, man. Let's put it together. I'll be right there. Ooh, so, you ready? I'm trying to make some candles, man. So, you want to grab your wax. Not your typical, okay? I don't like to use anything that's mixed with anything. This is straight, pure soy, all right? Damn near just beans in this bag, you hear me? Cool. I don't like to get anything that's half and half, anything with paraffin, anything with parabens. No, you don't want any plastic mixes. It's not gonna work out for you. Pure soy is what we use in here, all right? Let's bust him open. Cool. Got my aluminum holder. I like to put him on there before I turn on the scale so that I don't have to hit the tear button or anything like that. It starts balanced with that on there so we get a clean way up, all right? Take your time. Pour them in there and watch your scale as it goes. And for those of you at home that don't know, you got 16 ounces for every pound, all right? You can simply watch down there. Ooh, all right. 2 pounds, all right? Let's get some more up in there. Almost there. Now, I like to take them off and kind of shake them down sometimes. Might even push down a little bit just to kind of make room because we are gonna melt them. All right, just to make a little bit of room. Cool. Get that back on now. We at 212, just a little bit more. There we go. All right. Check your scale. We at 3 pounds. Real nice. So we're gonna get that going right. We're gonna take him, drop him down in that water, handle out, right? And kind of let that relax. Boom. You don't want to put your aluminum or even your wax or whatever you're melting directly on a heat source. That heat source is gonna burn whatever you're trying to melt. You don't want it to burn, you want it to melt, right? You still want it to achieve a certain temperature without burning off because you're gonna be adding things in there, you want it to come back together properly, all right? Now I'll go over the temperatures in just a second, but just for now, we're gonna let that melt all the way down till those chips are gonna be completely clear, all right? I'm gonna show you what it looks like right now. All right, you got your flakes. As soon as that heat hits it down at the bottom, you'll see how that changes into pure liquid. And you'll see how that sits inside of this water. The water is actually what's gonna melt this, not the heat. Cool. So come on, take a look at how that's supposed to look. If you remember, they were chips. Right now, you got it real clear, real nice, and no debris, none of that craziness, right? You're gonna go ahead and grab him up out of there, ensuring that everything in there is melted. And set him out, we're gonna let him cool, right? So this way your thermometer come in. So 2 things, we're gonna check the temperature on them. Just so you can kind of keep track, you know what I'm saying? I don't want no surface temp, I want the whole thing, so I like to stir it a little bit. Look like we're doing about a 190, that's cool, that's cool. So before you can get to pouring your oils in there, if you're using real essential oils, like no chemical base, you know what I mean? They're gonna have what's called a flash point. Now, this that gatekeeping stuff, right? I'm gonna open the door for you though. But this is stuff that people don't really go over. I'm gonna go over with you though. So that flash point, depending on what oil you're using, you can check it. You can look it up and see, right? Ask Google, your chat, GP, whoever, you know what I mean? I did the old school work, so I read the book. But each one of them have a temperature to where if it's too hot, you'll burn the scent off before you have a chance to even get to it. You know what I mean? So you kind of want to make sure that the wax that you're using is at a certain temperature before you pour it in there, or else you'll be burning your oils off before you have a chance to even light them up. You know what I mean? So if you do it when it's too hot, burn it off prematurely. You do it when it's too cool, the wax don't connect with it properly to hold it. So when the wick flame gets to it, it starts to release. So it's a smooth little process to it, but we're gonna go through it, man. I'm gonna make sure that you're good. We at that temperature I was talking about, right? I don't know if you remember. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in the flavor. But these oils have flash points, right? Now, a good safe temperature for me in the oils that I use is 135, right? Right now, it should come up to about 140, right? Or right at that 135, right behind 140. But I like it to be a few degrees above that 135, only because when you pour in your oils, another thing that you don't really think about too tough, your oils are gonna be cooler than the oil. So when you pour in, that's gonna cool that oil down, you know what I mean? So you don't want it right at whatever temperature you aiming for, because when you hit it, whatever else you about to go in there with is not gonna connect properly. Today, I'm using jasmine, I'm using yang yang, and I'm using dragon's blood, right? And what I have here, I use these as measurements, 30 milliliters, 60 milliliters. For every pound, you need 30 milliliters of whatever oil you're using. So evenly distributed. I got 3 pounds in there, 30, 30, and 30. We're gonna use this to get it in there, all right? Boom, drop them in there. Just like that, all right? No rushing necessary. Oh. All right. All right, cool. Wooden spoons. Makes them good. You want to make sure those wax cells are binding with that oil properly. All right. Now, of course, you should have already had your glass and wicks already set up. Mix them in. I like to keep a little tissue before I pour so I can wipe any excess, you know what I mean? Blam, 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 magic, magic. Take your time and pour. Simple as that. I like to keep it clean though. All right. And now you see, even after we hit 1, 2, 4, 6, that's 7 right there. Got a little extra. I could do another candle there, but I like to have some small ones. That's really the reason I keep these here. Yeah, that's him. Cool. After that, your wick holders, you simply just want to feed your wick. Try not to pull on your wick too tough. Cool, 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 cool. So we nice, we cool, we right. We got them poured out. After you got everything lined up, you kind of just want to kind of let it chill, sit, cool out. Let it do its job. Don't rush it. I appreciate you tuning in. Prescott's Candles. Once again, man, keeping it open. No gatekeeping. No locking it in. All right? Keeping it cool and smooth like a baby do. Ain't that right, Xander? Yeah. There you go. Anyway, Click like, man, subscribe. We here, man, we live. I'm here to make sure you know what I know. Ain't no gatekeeping on this road. Everybody gonna reach that goal. Yes, indeed. Peace.